Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Oddity Shop. I'm Zach. I'm sitting here with Kara. Kara just took a big sip of wine, I think. Are you ready to go? Introduce yourself. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Good job. Good job. You follow directions fantastically. Welcome back to the Oddity Shop. Welcome to the Oddity Shop. If this is your first time in, we're happy to have you. Let's see, Kara, what's been going on this week?
Christmas shopping.
Sound at least like, give me 30% more holiday cheer.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm already... Okay, this is funny to me, and it will be funny to you. Okay, you know I don't like watching things that other people watch, not for the fact that, like, I think I'm better or cooler than anybody else, but when people start talking about one topic over and over again, it just makes me want nothing to do with it. However, I did watch Wednesday because I love the Addams Family.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you real quick, though. You keep saying that you hate when people tell you to watch something, but I've gotten no less than 5 texts from you this week about how mad you are that I'm not watching.
I know, but what I'm saying is when people start, like Game of Thrones, for instance, it was like this huge big thing and everybody was like, oh my God, you should watch it. It's so cool and it's so great. And it just made me like, nope, and I've never watched it and I never will. Anyway, Wednesday is the exception because of what it is. I can't not watch it.
I'm actually now on episode 3 or 4, and I do really like it. It's
great. But what's funny about it is because you said this like maybe 2 weeks ago, you were like, you are just ridiculous because you're watching the Hallmark Channel and then you're going and watching like murder and ghosts and things like that. Your personalities are like hilarious. And I sent you that meme of Enid and Wednesday, and it says my 2 personalities.
It truly is.
I feel like it's truly my 2 personalities. But right now, my personality is more Wednesday right now, and I don't want to get into Christmas. I do, but I don't. I don't know.
I'm surprised. Usually you were so Christmas. See, I think I'm ahead of you. I have 2 more gifts to buy. I am 90% wrapped. I have never been this prepped for Christmas in my life.
No, you haven't. That's good. I mean, I only have a few more people to shop for, but like, putting up Christmas decorations like almost was just like not fun this year. And I don't know why. But anyway, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
You might have an answer for this. If someone you loved committed a gruesome murder, would you help them cover it up? And that someone is me.
Oh God, that changes my original answer that I was thinking of.
Okay. First, it's Denise.
Obviously, she wouldn't even need help. She could bury a body on her own, and
well, I think she'd be more clever than burying it. She'd be fine.
Oh, she has a whole plan. It's a wood chipper. There's switching DNA for pig's
stop
blood.
Giving her
shit. Sorry.
God,
we'll
Denise.
Scratch that. We'll get rid of it.
She's gonna kill us. Okay, so if it's not
I feel like when it comes to you, like I wouldn't have a choice because we'd already be hanging out and I would be pulled into the crime. You wouldn't even give me an option. It's not like, hey, come help me. You'd be like, come over, we're having dinner, and I'd walk in and whatever you were trying to cover up would just be there. I'd be pulled in without any
Oh yeah, for sure. It would be like that. Or I would call you and be like, I really need your help. You need to get here now, and you would. And then it would be like
I'd have no choice either way, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, if that's the case, you have no choice. Are you going to turn me in? I mean, I know you'd be turning yourself in because you helped, but at least you'd be like, I had no choice in to help. I felt like I had to. She'd kill me next.
Honestly, it would come down to numbers. If I thought there was a higher % chance of getting away with it, I probably wouldn't turn you in. But like, if we were going to get caught and I could get a plea deal, yeah, I'd drop your ass.
I don't blame you. Actually, I'd probably do the same for you.
I know you would.
All right, I'm not mad at that.
Fair. All right, well, with all that being said, before we give away too many more of our hidden crime agendas, why don't you tell me what you got for me today?
I have Shadow People / Hatman.
I'm gonna give a quick aside actually here before you start. Go. Kara has told me she was going to do this topic a while ago. We had to sit on it though because After the Halloween episode, we had some weird stuff happening in our lives, so we went out and bought some crystals.
No, Zach went out and bought all the crystals. Thank you. I'm
the one who went up to the people at the store, like the storefront, and was like, hey, you want to hear something wild? And they just pointed, they did great. Spirit Dreams in Grand Rapids showed me exactly what to buy and what we need, and now we are protected. So we are. And
most importantly, they didn't think that you were crazy. They were like, "Oh yeah, sure, of course that happened."
Oh, they made me feel so normal. I love them.
So now I'm surrounded by all these crystals.
She's holding one up to her forehead right now, since you guys can't.
I've got the other one. But anyway, I didn't want to do this episode until I had these because of the weird. What are the things called? Not synchro. What is the word?
Coincidences?
Yeah, but what's that? The other word?
Synchronicities.
Thank you. I can never say it. All those weird things that kept happening to us, but also really weird, creepy things that kept happening. Like there was somebody in the back of my car one day. It was not somebody, something. It was a whole thing. It was a whole deal. So,
anyways, we're protected now.
I hope.
By rocks.
Right, which makes me think we're not. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not, because this is a lot and it goes all over the place. I'm telling you that right now.
Just jump in.
Okay. I'm going to tell you an experience I had when I lived in my apartment, which you didn't spend a lot of time in there. You fed my rats one time. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, but it did get a little weird there. There's some weird things. Not too much, but a little weird. Before this, though, I've never before or after experienced sleep paralysis, and the only time that I have is in that apartment. I don't wish that upon anyone. So at this point, I was not married to Aaron. Aaron was sleeping over. And it's like, so I don't know how to explain it. So we're both asleep, dead asleep. And I like woke up abruptly and I was like frozen. And I don't even remember what I thought, but I think I thought I was probably dying because I couldn't move. Like only my eyes could, which is such a weird feeling. Have you ever had that?
I have. I've been actually prone to like night terrors and all that kind of stuff when I was a kid.
And you couldn't move?
I haven't really, like, I've experienced like that brief when I wake up, that state of like waking where I can't move, but I could usually move right away. But I haven't, like, I guess experienced like a full sleep paralysis for an elongated period of time.
Okay. Well, when I finally realized like where I was in my room, you know, you're laying and you can like see out of the corner of your eye. So like out of the corner of my left eye, I could see Aaron like sleeping. And then out of my right eye, it was like a dark figure, but it was like kneeling because it was at my eye level, if that makes sense. Because it was like much lower.
Maybe it was just a really short shadow person.
It could have been, but it was like right by my, I don't think it was. But anyway, I managed to like wiggle my fingers, which was even creepier because I'm like, oh my God, I was trying to touch Aaron and scream for him so hard and I couldn't. Anyway, all I remember is it was like growling, like these deep, creepy growls. And I know it was saying stuff, but I don't remember for the life of me because I've tried to block it out, like what it was saying. But I do remember something along the lines of like, no one would know, or like Aaron wouldn't know. Like it was going to kill me or something.
Like something that was meaning to unsettle.
Mm-hmm. Like somebody wouldn't know. And eventually the pressure subsided and I like moved again and I freaked out. I remember like springing up. I was like, I don't know what just happened, nightmare, whatever. And I was like looking in the house, looking under the bed, and my bed it wasn't raised enough to even have anything under it. So like no one could have been under there, but I still looked anyway. I didn't really sleep there for days. I remember I spent the night at Aaron's house for a couple of days. So I was like really freaked out. And I did have that happen one other time in the apartment, but I didn't see anything. I just couldn't move. So you didn't see anything though. You were just saying it was like short periods.
Mine was always after a nightmare.
Oh.
You know, okay, almost like when you have cold meds, right? Like
you're like
there's
drowsy.
That minute where like you're awake but you're still dreaming, so like they kind of bleed into each other.
Yeah.
That happens when I come out of nightmares a lot. So it's like I can't move for a second and I see it, but I'm also in my room. But it's always very brief.
Maybe you're like not really dreaming, you're like astral projecting. That's probably mine.
I just think I'm just a slow waker upper.
Okay. All right. So sleep paralysis is a state during waking up or falling asleep in which a person is aware but unable to move or speak. One may hallucinate, resulting in fear. So it kind of is a little bit of what you're saying, but Oh no, I kind of call bullshit on some of it because.
Well, get on with it. Tell us why you call bullshit.
Well, okay, because there's just a lot of reasons. Okay, what causes sleep paralysis? Many, many, many things, such as narcolepsy, sleep deprivation, psychological stress, abnormal sleep cycles, lucid dreamers, dysfunction in, is it REM or REM sleep? What do people say?
You can say it either way.
Well, one of those. Atonic seizures, or you could just be completely healthy. That's why no one has a clue why, so I just kind of call it bullshit. So
literally, you just covered absolutely every state of being. Perfect.
That's what I'm saying. And then they're like, oh, you could just be absolutely fine, and you just.
So it's unexplained.
Exactly. Okay, so there's a couple different things, stories, tales, whatever you want to call it, that go along with sleep paralysis. That's why people don't necessarily believe it being like just like a medical thing, because a lot of times individuals see the same things like all around the world. So one entity thing, whatever we want to call it, that people kind of go with is called the Night Hag. Have you heard of the Night Hag?
This one I have heard of, yes.
A night hag is a name given to a supernatural creature that's associated with sleep paralysis. Almost every culture has a version of the night hag, which I find is crazy. So I just listed a few. So Cambodia has the ghost pushes you down, which is really frightening because if you think about it, you're almost always feel like you're being pushed down to your, onto your bed. The ghost pushes you down.
Pressure on your chest. Ooh.
Ooh. Egypt has a jinn, which is a genie, but not from Aladdin.
No, it's like the evil version of a genie.
Yeah,
right?
They are evil. Italy has just what they call evil witch. Newfoundland, whatever it is, has the old hag. And United States actually references this with alien abduction.
I've heard the similarity, right? Because it's like
it makes
when
sense.
People have the stories of alien abductions or the old hag or whatever it is, the sleep paralysis. They're very similar symptoms in ways where it's like you're frozen and out of control of your body and you're seeing something.
Well, I've never heard it being compared to or whatever you want to call it with aliens, and I think that kind of makes sense. If you're, because
there's definitely similarities in both experiences.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you check out the Supernatural podcast by Ashley Flowers, which we're devastated that she doesn't do anymore, but those episodes are amazing. But it's way better research.
Also, she does so much though. Oh
my God, it's a way better research podcast, and she has a whole episode on sleep paralysis and one man that makes it his mission to figure out what happened to him. I highly recommend it. But basically, a night hag is found all over the world. Same things happen to you, just different names. This kind of brings me to shadow people, though, which is originally what my topic was, but I fell into the sleep paralysis, night hag, whatever. This was, oh my God, you know how I feel about this. We've all experienced where we think we've seen something move out of the corner of our eye. We look and there's nothing there and we're like, no, what? There was.
I have that often where I feel like I see a black cat out of the corner of my eye.
You've never told me that.
I'm sorry. I feel like, it's out of the peripheral. I see a cat run.
What? That means something.
I know. I've looked it up on Google. There's 100 different reasons of what it might mean. It's a good omen. It's a bad omen. It's a past cat. Could be 100 things. But yeah, we all have those things that you see it out of the peripheral. There was something there, but you look again and you start to convince yourself you're crazy.
I'm upset you've never told me that. I'm figuring out what it means for you. Okay. Anyway, so shadow people are described as a dark figure person seen out of the corner of your eye, or a cat if you're Zach. These are kind of some of the things that it's said to be: a darker form of a ghost, time travelers, aliens, demons, the dark form of ourselves, which is very interesting, souls, or interdimensional beings. What do you think?
Okay. I think a lot of things.
I know, but it has me so confused.
The interdimensional beings make sense to me in a reason.
Yeah.
Because okay, so oh my God, I'm not going to take that much time to explain this, but
take your time.
3D person is looking at a 2D image, right? We're looking at a slice of the image.
Okay.
I feel like if you were 4D or 5D, right, the way you would experience 3D isn't the way we do. So us seeing it as a sliver, I'm not explaining it well. There's people who do it so much better than me, but it explains why you see it really quick in your peripheral.
Yeah.
We just see a slice of what the next dimension would perceive. Anyways.
And then it could kind of be like the time travelers thing, because there's like that theory that there's, you're traveling, whatever. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way better way to explain it, but I got you.
We do our best.
Okay. So without giving too much topic or too much to this topic, oh my God, Kara, words are hard. Without giving too much energy to this topic. Thank you. My current home's owner passed away. The wife.
Previous owner is what she wanted to say.
What did I say? Current?
Your current home's owner, which would be you.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't die. Maybe I died. After this, I might. Anyway, we bought it from her husband, blah, blah. Okay. So I recently fractured my ankle, my right ankle. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything, is whatever. So I spent a lot of time in the house, 6 months to be exact, stuck here a lot of times alone because, people be working. But as I was like spending a lot of time here and I was isolated and like, I started feeling like not so alone. Zach knows all of this. And I started seeing something like a shadow. How do I explain this? My living room, when you're looking at the TV, you can see the hallway and then you could see the bedroom, like the first bedroom in the hallway you can see from the living room. And I'd always see somebody like peeking out, kind of like, what's going on out here? Okay. And it didn't really freak me out. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm spending a lot of time here. I'm putting energy in the house. It kind of makes sense. But like, when I would actually look down the hallway, I wouldn't see it. And then like, once I started, like, as a side note, once I started going back to work and like people started coming over and like doing stuff again, I don't really feel that anymore or see it. But I kind of thought it was her because I didn't really experience anything else besides that. So I kind of thought it was her, but now I'm like freaked out. Like this has me all jumbled up. Like, was it just like a shadow person?
I mean, it could have been, right? Like, I feel like when you hear about shadow people, the hag or the
whatever it is,
this demon, people always describe such a similar thing. So is it something that we're actually experiencing? Is it a thing the human brain creates when you're almost in that solitary state?
Yeah, I was really down if it was her. Now that I did all this research and I'm doing this episode, I was like, what was it? Anyway. Any excuse to bring up Sam and Colby. They have a lot of episodes that talk about shadow man, shadow people. They even visit a manor in the UK that's actually called the Shadow Man Manor. You want to go?
Do you feel the most powerful and beautiful with the elements of the earth around you? Do you like one-of-a-kind jewelry? Do you sometimes feel like a woodland fairy? Me too. That's why I created Holly and Hemlock, a magical shop filled with handmade wooden jewelry and metaphysical tools. Come check out our enchanting wooden wares at www.hollyhemlock.com and join us in honoring the magic and beauty of nature with each unique creation. That's www.hollyhemlock.com.
I mean, I'm down. I just really want to go check out any haunted location at this point.
I just want to be with Sam and Colby. Okay.
We all know.
So do you. This brings me to the Hat Man. Most sightings of shadow people are described as the same dark person-like figure out of the corner of your eye. This is a tall man with a hat on, kind of like a top hat. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of goes in line with like the old hag and all those.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of why it brought me down this line of like, every time we think we're going to talk about something, it brings us to something else. It's just like inevitable at this point. Okay, these type of apparitions are one of the most regularly reported paranormal phenomenons in the United States, better known as the nightmare shared around the world, which is so scary to me. And this is like why I wanted to bring it up, because it's like, how do all these people have the same nightmare? I'm putting up little quotes, air quotes.
The air quotes. All right, explain the nightmare.
Okay. Well, the nightmare is that you literally have sleep paralysis. You can't move, and out of the corner of your eye, you just see a shadow figure, usually with a hat on, tormenting you. Why does everybody see the same person? No.
I mean,
listen, I can get down with it being medical or science related, but the thing that it's like, how do you explain the same shadow person?
That's where I'm saying it's either like, it's got to be something that the human brain makes up to like make sense of darkness, or we're all experiencing like a really similar haunting. I just feel
that's
like
what I feel like it's something like that, because it's so strange to me, because it'll be like, I'm talking like all around the world, you know, like tribes and like people that don't, you know, indigenous people and like people that don't have the same type of means as like you and I. Do you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't know of these types of stories by any means or ways. So it's like, how are they having the same, I don't know.
So then what you're saying is that it's not like nature versus nurture, right? Like it's not a nurturally curated thing.
No.
It's either got to be natural or the same demon is coming to everyone.
Yeah, it's wild because, yeah, like I said, that episode that Ashley Flowers does, it's crazy because it's like crazy. It's a very great researched on, I can't remember where it took place, but it was like wild because like, you know, she goes down and like, well, she has researchers, let's get real. But I mean, they go through all of these different ethnicities and like everything, and like they all have this same thing happen, and it's just really bizarre. Some people thought that the hat sighting was due to the Nightmare on Elm Street being released. Have you ever watched that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The original Nightmare on Elm. Is there
I feel like this is the first time you've asked me about a movie and I've actually said yes.
I was
I'm proud of
expecting, which is weird because I don't watch jack shit and you never have seen anything that I have. But okay, so people kept thinking that it was because, you know, Freddy Krueger has that hat on, but these reports started way before Freddy and his signature, right? Way before Freddy and his signature hat tormented teens in their dreams. Also, I think I said teens in their dreams. Teens in their dreams. That's fine. Also, the hat's completely different because most people think it's like a top hat almost, you know, or Freddy Krueger.
So maybe Freddy came from
probably. That's what I would think. Okay, this brought to me. I stumbled upon the Hatman Project. The Hatman Project is a website run by Timothy M. Brown. It's dedicated to people's accounts of the Hatman and shadow people. And I fell down a deep, deep hole reading these. I picked 2 to read. I chose short ones. They were all anonymous, so I can't really give credit, but they're on that website. And this is the first one. At the age of 9, I saw him. It was the middle of the night, located in Massachusetts. I was sleeping and suddenly felt like something was watching me. I woke up and in the corner of the room was a shadow of a man wearing a trench coat and a top hat. I would close my eyes and he would just disappear. Between the ages of 9 and 15, he would continue to visit me, always at night and always in the corner of my room. I kind of got used to him. He never did anything to harm me. He would just stand there and watch me sleep. Eventually, he stopped showing up, and I always wondered where he went. The only one who believed me was my brother. I never thought about it again until my husband showed me this, meaning the Hatman Project. Side note, let's believe our children.
I mean, yeah, I feel like children's stories so much are just, it's their imaginary friend. It's
never their imaginary friend. Never.
No.
Never.
They're so much more perceptive.
It's never their imaginary friend. Mm-mm. So, that's weird. Can you imagine from, what did she say, 9 to 15, you're just chilling in your room every night and you see that? I mean, she didn't experience sleep paralysis. I shouldn't say she because I don't know. They didn't say what they identify as, so I'm just going to say they know. They didn't say that they had sleep paralysis, but how creepy.
I mean, there's definitely enough evidence to say like something happened when you're in that state between falling asleep and being asleep or being asleep and being awake that enough people are experiencing either this sleep paralysis or the night hag or the thing in the corner. But it's so, I
feel like it's because you're vulnerable. So that is the perfect time to like attack, I guess.
If you think like, I mean, look at the world we live in, right? You have so much constant stimulus coming into you all the time when you're at work, when you're out doing things, or you're at home doing chores, right? When you start to lay down and go to bed, or when you're waking up, like you don't have all of that extra shit bogging you down. So you might be more open to other experiences.
No, I fully agree. Okay, so here's another one. I saw the Hatman in the fall of 1988 in Rhode Island. I was 4. My parents were out for the night and I had a 16-year-old babysitter. It was evening time and I was playing in the living room by myself when a tall black shadow of a man with what looked like an Abraham Lincoln type's hat and a long trench coat glided past me and down into the basement. As it was passing me, I froze, maybe because I was scared All I know is that I couldn't speak until Hat Man was down the stairs. I immediately yelled at my babysitter. But what came out of it was a big shadow. Oh my God. Sorry. But what came out was a big shadow man went into the basement. She called the police and my parents, but there was no man to be found. I even located my babysitter a few years ago to confirm what happened, and she remembers she was totally freaked out from that night. I forgot all about him until I saw him again in the summer of 2002. I lived in Las Vegas by this time, and I was pregnant with my first child. Hat Man would walk through each room of the house periodically and disappeared. He would do that for my second pregnancy in 2006 as well, making himself seen only when I was alone. As an adult, I can say I don't feel Hat Man as a negative energy, but it sure creeps me out. This is so terrifying to me. Why is he showing up during children and then pregnancies? Is he going to eat your children?
No, what if you flip it around? Like, what if so one, she's more alone than she usually is, right? Because she's either raising kids or pregnant. Usually you're not working so much. Is it maybe more that you're in tune with your surroundings, right? Because like, I feel like, especially pregnant women or newborn mothers are in that constant fight or flight mode. Like,
yeah,
they're not just taking care of themselves anymore. They're taking care of other people.
That's true.
So you're more perceptive to what's around you.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. Well, I'm still as lost about all these phenomena as like when I started.
It's one of those things where like I feel like you could lump a lot of things together or talk about each of these things on their own and take an hour to go into each one of them and barely scratch the surface. But there's obviously something going on.
Right. And I just don't understand why, like, all around the world, like, why are we seeing shadow people all around the world? I'm just more confused. And I'm very much more unsettled now than I was before. I wish I wouldn't have done this.
My love for psychology, right, wants to dive into, is this something that's supernatural or is this something that the brain is trying to make sense of the dark? I mean,
do you really think though, like, okay, let me put it this way. Okay. Why are people in different cultures and, like I said, like poverty and I don't even know what the right word is, but why are those people, they don't know necessarily what a trench coat or a top hat is. Why are they seeing those? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like different and it's like dated so far back that it doesn't make sense to me. Like these different tribes and stuff are having this experience. It would, to me, you would see something that's in your culture, right? Like, you know, if it's like a hat or something, it would be like representative in your culture or your time frame or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of what trips me up the most. Is it not necessarily like the shadow people? It's the Hat Man that I just don't understand why multiple people see that particular thing. Because I do understand if it was just a dark figure in the corner of your room. Yeah, sometimes the light is tricky, especially when you're like just adjusted from being in the bright light. You turn the lights down, you always see stuff. I get that. And then put it on top of the fact that you're like in and out of sleep, like you're in that weird state. I can get down with that. But the hat really throws me off.
Yeah, no, that part's, it's kind of strange, right? Of like why. There's a Netflix documentary about it too.
Really?
Yes, and it's really good. I cannot think of the name.
You know how I feel about
it. It starts with the sleep paralysis, and then it talks about the Hat Man and how he's been seen throughout
history, essentially.
History, yeah. I mean, it's like a well-documented thing at this point, so there's got to be something to it.
Maybe I'll just have to get over my documentaries and watch it.
It's a good one. Don't watch it before bed. Honestly,
let's get real. I'm not going to watch it because I'll never sleep again, no matter when I watch it.
I'll make you watch it.
Nah. But yeah, that's really what I have for you.
Interesting though.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I know you and I have both had our own experiences. Anyone listening, we would love to hear your experiences if you've seen. Excuse me.
Keep that in. Keep that in. Keep that in. Keep that in. I'm gonna be my pants.
Anyways, if you've seen,
keep all of this.
I will. I got you. If you've seen anything weird go bump in the night, right? Or like sleep paralysis, or you have some strange sightings, I don't know. We would love to hear from you. Speaking of that, we do always want to hear from people. Kara,
I'm so sorry. It was just your face, and it was so funny. Yeah, we want to hear from you. So can you guys, like, Aaron's friend Kayla did actually write in. Did you see that? She wrote one word. That's all she wrote. It wasn't even a sentence. I was like, really?
What's the word?
I don't even remember what it was. She wanted us, what's the, she was texting Aaron or messaging him about something else. And then it was something in Japan. I think it was the, I don't know, but all she wrote was like the woods of Japan. Like she didn't even write. It was just, it cracked me up. That's probably why you just like totally passed it. Cause it was just one word. Thanks, Kayla.
Thanks, Kayla. I got to call out my cousin Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Who has given so much love to the podcast. He also, we keep telling you we want to hear the good and the bad that we're doing. We want to hear your ideas and everything. Adam is the first person who called us out and said, hey, here's the word you were looking for. So when we were doing the James Dean episode and Kara was talking about the crossroads and couldn't find the word for what she was talking about, he let me know it's called a limnus area. When you're in a crossroads, I'm going to murder it. Adam's going to correct me again.
Oh,
I hope
God.
he does.
I know. I wish I had it pulled up. I'd read what he sent.
But like a limnus state is when you're like kind of between two things, right? So a crossroad, you're between two roads. It's a kind of a magical area.
Like high energy. Like
high energy because you're also between the physical and the metaphysical world. Sorry, buddy. Let me know.
Listen, I don't even know if I knew the word I was looking for, but I appreciate that now he gave it to me.
Anyways, though, we need your ideas. We want to hear personal stories. We would also love it if you liked, subscribed, and left a review. With that, please. Kara, you want to say the magic words?
Creeve it really, oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.